Now, the next thing is an update on the task force, the COVID-19 task force that's been helping us to keep things in order.
Yeah, just real quick, I gave you guys a one-pager. So the Highlands COVID-19 Task Force, we've met 3 times. We continue to meet weekly. We're going to very likely have to adjust, potentially increasing the frequency of those meetings. I do want to highlight that it's a cross-functional team of policy and planning efforts related to COVID-19. So that means it has management and officials from Iron Gate, Clifton Forge, Allegheny County, and Covington, as well as regional VDH, local VDH, regional VDM, and VDM is Virginia Department of Emergency Management. Dominion Energy has now been added to the task force. Department of Social Services, Community Services Board, the Sheriff's Office and Jail, Covington PD, Area Emergency Managers, and Lewis Gale Allegheny to some extent. One of the goals that we've had with this is providing unified messaging to the region. At a minimum, there will continue to be one public press release weekly. There has been a communication strategy meeting with all local media, and all are providing ideas on getting the word out and listing our messages unaltered. Channel 7 provided coverage on the task force. There's been on-air radio interviews provided by County Administrator Mr. Lanford and myself on our local radio station. And our mayor and the chair of the Board of Supervisors, Matt Garton, did an interview with the Allegheny Journal yesterday. So we are doing our best to continue to get the word out with, social distancing, the washing of hands, those sorts of things, limiting outings to those that are essential. From a city perspective of our city emergency management, we're working to develop a support services arm of efforts that's being mobilized today. We're working to engage the League of Older Americans, the LOA.
That's right.
Churches in our city, as well as the Salvation Army that has actually reached out to the city and wants to step up and help with their commercial kitchen. One thing I will say, I know there's a lot of churches that do want to do luncheons or dinners and provide food. The biggest thing to be mindful of, that is a great resource, but those operations should be based on the guidelines and everything that the CDC, VDH, and Governor have put out. Drive-through pickup operations, not really fostering folks congregating together given the public health emergency, especially that we've started to see some spread that is very close to our area. There was a case confirmed in Botetourt last night. So again, it's being mindful of those things. The city has suspended all water shutoffs as of Monday, and we've worked to try to provide reconnections during this time as well. So anyone that had a recent shutoff, we went ahead and reconnected. The city's providing free public Wi-Fi at City Hall and the drones in our parking lots. Oh, it says parking lots, but parking lots 7 days a week now, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that's for, if you're doing homework or you're trying to do your unemployment filing, there is 7 days a week free public Wi-Fi access. City Hall has been closed to walk-ins and visitors since Monday. There's been daily department head touchpoint calls since actually last week, but we've definitely put it on the calendar and we're continuing to do that daily. We've put a placeholder for Saturday calls as well, should we have the need for that, so everyone's aware. We have a partial EOC activation that began Monday when we declared the local emergency. We have participation in Virginia Department of Emergency Management calls twice weekly, and we are engaging in direct contact, myself as manager, with the Virginia Department of Emergency Management Region 6 lead, Mike Guzzo. We've had several direct calls just about wanting to make sure we're getting information, wanting to make sure that we stay up to date with things as much as we can. Daily sit reps, which are situation reports, to begin by our emergency coordinator. I'm going to work with Mr. Tyree on doing that today. In addition to, we are reporting to VDEM through WebEOC, which is a software program. And we've started to have preparations at our wastewater treatment plant and water treatment plant, should folks have to be at those plants for any extended period of time beyond a normal shift. And we are starting telework come Monday.
Thank you. Do any
questions?
Is that all departments telework, or how does that break
It will be
down?
for all quote-unquote non-essential, and when I say non-essential, technically in a normal organizational structure, any public works employee would be considered essential. But looking at anyone that is not on the front lines of actually accomplishing a mission-critical task, meaning your refuse collection, your plants, your roadway efforts, infrastructure, those kinds of things, department heads will still be expected to come in, but we're really trying to be mindful of the welfare of our employees and trying to preserve our workforce at full capacity as long as we can. So we've issued laptops, cell phones, those kinds of things. We've tested that folks can access their files and do all the things while they are at home. And we've come up with some ideas on citywide projects that we've been wanting to get to, and it's hard to get to when you're dealing with all the day-to-day stuff like SOPs or updates to the city website, identifying areas where we need to update things. So we'll be working through that in addition to trying to do some of the basics, because sometimes when you work from home, you kind of have to modify what you're doing.
And one of the things, and this is just my take for the four of us, I like this briefing that you did for council. And not to put any more work on anybody, could we get this kind of like what you do on Fridays, maybe three
Yes,
times?
so we have-
Because what happens is there's been so many emails.
Yes.
And then if you start getting replies to those emails, it gets very confusing trying to figure out the message. I've learned more in this than trying to decipher all those emails.
So I think that's why I want to work with Mr. Tyree on doing a sit rep. So potentially what we will start to do is situation report.
Right.
And that does also follow some VDEM standards. VDH is doing situation reports as well 3 times a week. So what we might move to do is 3 times a week give you guys a situation report. And that way then it's just, we'll include you on that. And if there is something that's urgent, of course I'll include you on that. But I will say that during this time, because things are moving fast and evolving, sometimes by the hour, it is important for us as staff here and as the administration that you all do your best to check email. If you have any questions or you hear anything and you're not sure about something, please feel free to call me. Call, text, email anytime. I've been up late. I've been up early. I take no offense to it. There's no silly questions during this time. But we can definitely do something like this.
I bet I can come up with one.
No, I'm sure you can.